Hey guys, so today we're talking about the Half-Life franchise. So we're going to start with Half-Life 1. Half-Life 1 was one of the first action games I ever played, funny enough. My father got a copy of it in 2001, so I was around 5 years old the first time I played it. Um, it changed my life. It's one of those games where it's so important to my childhood, and it's just so much fun. And I find myself going back to it on the daily. I'll probably replay it at least once a year, I'd imagine. I even have the original jeweled big box PC copy of it sitting back at my house. Same for Half-Life 2, for that matter as well. Um, Later in life, I played Half-Life 2. I probably played Half-Life 2 around 2008, 2009 was when I first actually played it myself. Again, really fun game, iconic. If you're ever on the fence about playing either Half-Life 1 and 2, you really should just play them. If That's a mandatory gamer thing to do. You have to play Half-Life and Half-Life 2 for that matter. I would recommend playing the originals over a lot of things. Of course, next up you have the Half-Life episodes, Episode 1 and Episode 2. Very important, again, in terms of Valve's idea with episodic content. It really was an idea that was thought of at the time. People didn't really know what to expect. Doing these shorter episodes, that way you had less time to wait in between games. It was a good idea. It's a shame that it didn't pan out as Valve expected it to. Later on, I did play Opposing Force and Blue Shift as well for Half-Life 1. I thought those were very good expansions. Again, just a continuation on the concept of what Half-Life is. Shooting monsters, shooting dudes, using lots of cool weapons and things like that. In a way, it's technically kind of a boomer shooter at this point. But it's an iconic boomer shooter. It's important. It's like playing Doom or Duke Nukem or any of those older games, or Quake for that matter, as well. Because the original Half-Life, when it was first developed, was running on a heavily modified version of the Quake 1 engine. Then it got its own engine that was less derivative of the Quake engine. Still classic, iconic. Obviously, play Half-Life 1, Blue Shift, Opposing Force, Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2. Obviously, you got to play all those. You also need to play Black Mesa as well. That was Crowbar Collective's reimagining of Half-Life 1. I remember when it was Black Mesa Source way back in the day. Now that it finally is fully out with Zen and all that, it's a great reimagining for a modern audience. It definitely feels a little more streamlined. It's not the same as the original Half-Life 1. I would recommend anybody who hasn't played that to play that first, because it is such a departure. Black Mesa is definitely a lot more accessible for modern audiences. A lot of subtle changes here and there that make it a little bit more what a modern audience would expect. And then, of course, latestly, we have Half-Life Alyx, the VR Half-Life. I never expected that to be something as good as it really was. I bought it day one. I bought a VR just to play it, the Samsung Odyssey Plus. Not the best VR headset in the world, but surprisingly, Half-Life Alyx made it work pretty well. I would definitely say if you've never ever thought about picking up a VR headset to play it, it's definitely worth it, but I would also recommend, if you're going to go that route, buy one that's a bit newer. I bought a very old one, so I'm limited on this new stuff I can play. A lot of companies are not supporting the Odyssey Plus anymore. I prefer its screen resolution over a lot of the other ones, but it's not as new. The tracking is pretty bad. It's not perfect. because it uses just front-facing cameras and then 2 controllers. So I would say consider a newer VR system, but if you have a VR, definitely play Half-Life Alyx. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely that AAA VR experience we've all been kind of waiting for. So yeah, if you're on the fence about that, definitely play that. And because I had a viewer request, we're going to do a little secondary tack on to this video and talk about TF2. Oh boy, I freaking love TF2. I was playing that on my brother's account when it first came out, and I finally got TF2 on my own Steam account at the time. I bought it 3 days before it went free to play. So you can imagine my feelings when that happened. Still, that's fine. It's still iconic and it's still really important. So I would say, yeah, play all of the Half-Life games, and once you're done with it, pick up TF2 as well and start playing that too. But hey, you know, that's just my 2 cents. We'll see y'all later. Bye.